You're about to experience a shift in the weather, cardinal signs. Your environment is going through alteration. There's a force of change that is blowing on the wind. It's being drawn down from the ether. And it's mixing things up so they can actually blend together in a way that may seem like it's pulling off the impossible. It may seem that the solution to what's perplexing you right now is a bit of a ludicrous fantasy, but something that comes about here is going to actually make you realize that what seems ridiculous is actually quite credible and has application in your situation. I got a really wild download that is coming in for you all, and I'm doing something a little bit different here moving forward when we bring in these elemental reads. We're going to work with the different groups of signs. So we're starting out with the cardinal signs because it is Cancer season and they are cardinal signs. So this read is going to focus on the energies of Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries. This lunar cycle was kicked off with a cardinal sign, Cancer new moon, that came in on the 25th. And on the 26th of July, no, not the 26th of July, the 10th of July. Maybe there's something significant that happens on the 26th of July. Okay. Whatever gets set in motion with the Capricorn full buck moon that comes in on July 10th. I mean, today is the 26th. It is the light building phase. There might be something that ties back to today that you arrive at on the 26th of July that gets illuminated, maybe the path that leads to that outcome of whatever is causing you to question direction right now. All right. Interesting how that's all tying in together, but I'm sure it will make sense in time, even though a lot may seem like a bunch of nonsense at this time. Anyway, I had a really interesting download come in around the cardinal signs, and it was related to a book from childhood that I'm sure a lot of Gen Xers will remember, but it's a book that's still loved to this day. And they even made a movie about it. But the book is called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And it's a really absurd book. It's a book about a town called Chew and Swallow. And everything that everybody eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in this town comes from the shift in weather patterns. It comes from the sky above. In the town of Chew and Swallow, it rains soup and juice. It snows mashed potatoes. There's hamburger storms and even hot dogs already in buns blowing in from the northeast. There's also giant donuts rolling down the street like tumbleweeds, or like the big boulders rolling after Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. And there's tomato. I went to say tornado. maybe a tomato tornado that's sent to torment you in some way. But really, it's not as scary as it seems on the surface, okay? And one thing about that story is that everything comes right in the end. It may be a strange trip to get there, but it all comes right in the end. Eventually, everyone found the place where they belonged, and they got quite clever about how to find their way forward. I mean, They made rafts out of giant pieces of toast, and they found their way to new shores. They found their way to calmer water. You know, uh, just a really interesting download coming in there for you all. But I feel like this is the energy you're moving into here. And there is something here coming in directly around food. Food as a way to maybe relieve yourself of some energy drains, okay? Some habits that have become a bit parasitic, the habits themselves and the way that you're nourishing yourself, the way it's plugging you in here. And there's a need to sort of clear that energy out, maybe by working with more seasonal foods at this time. It might be good to give your digestion a little bit of a break to clear out some of that sluggishness, cardinal signs. You might want to make some soups. You might want to do some juicing. You might want to take in more sweet, juicy fruits. And also that piece about the story, I mean, everything comes in for a reason. You know, the nourishment comes from the sky, right? So I feel like you're really tapping into the ether air element right now, cardinal signs. There's a lot of inspiration coming through for you. And you might also be looking at things very differently than some of the fixed signs and mutable signs, you know. You're experiencing quite a different energy signature than the other sign groups here. So I think that there's something that you're showing up with here that feels a bit to others like you're wearing a disguise. I mean, there was even a character in that Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs book that was wearing a Groucho Marx mask. And, you know, the thing about Groucho Marx has always said, like, I don't want to be a member of a club that would have me, you know, this kind of energy. It's like, you're okay sort of being the odd man out right now. In fact, you've started to be quite at home in that territory. I think that has a lot to do with the tempering that came with Pluto and Capricorn last year. Capricorn, cardinal sign, holding it down. Also, the descendant sign of Cancer. And that's another thing I like about this energy too, because you really do get so much from the descendant signs. So, you know, those of you who are Cancer rising, Capricorn rising, Aries rising, Libra rising, and you're able to get everything one-stop shop when we drop in to do these kind of reads. And the same thing for all the mutable sign group and the fixed sign group, all the rising signs, like descendants and you know, sun signs all in, you know, one place together. So that can teach you a lot about relationships. Another reason why I wanted to start to approach these elemental reads like this. But I digress. There's something that is really coming in here about being okay being the odd man out, being okay with not being invited to sit at that table, and having a different understanding because of the way that you really did get tempered with Pluto and Capricorn. Cardinal signs are known to be quite stoic. They do have the ability to tap into that salt of the earth at a time when everybody else may be feeling like the sky is falling and running around like a chicken with their head cut off. It's just the nature of the cardinal signs. They get to work. They know what they need to do to get to work and just set certain things in motion, even as other people may feel quite divided and in that place of indecision because of the fears that haunt them, the fears that hang over them, the anxiety around what could be coming in the future. What is that falling from the sky there. And I think there's a lot of shakeup around that energy collectively right now, because there's a lot of stuff going on in our skies, you know. There's a lot of threat that could come from the sky at this time as well, with all the world tension going on, and the conflict, and you know, talks of ceasefire that are then broken, and you know, everything is sort of like in this very unstable place. And yet cardinal signs have a tendency to not avoid um, things that a lot of people would prefer to just sort of like stick their heads in the sand around. They have a tendency to say, okay, I know what I'm facing here, but I don't really have time. I don't really have time to get into the fear of what's going on with this climate change here. I can't do that. I have to stay focused. I got to put my boots on, and I just got to do what needs to get done. Even if I do got a giant donut rolling after me down the street that wants to run on over me like that big boulder did attempt to do with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And I have to say, Indiana Jones is a good archetype for you. It's a good archetype for you cardinal signs. You might want to invoke a bit of that Indiana Jones spirit, you know, go ahead and try on that disguise. I mean, Indiana Jones definitely made his own way. And he was in some pretty tricky spots, but he always found a way through. And I feel like that's the energy of the cardinal signs right now. And you may, in some respects, feel like you're dealing with really bizarre circumstances, but because of everything you've been through, I think you have a way to understand what seems ludicrous to others, or bring something down to earth and really root it, where others feel like, oh, you're living in fantasy land, like you don't got a lay of the land, you're not seeing this clearly. But actually, you're very observant, and you're quite attuned to the details. And you know, you are perhaps seeming like you're wearing a disguise to others, because much as the partner of Judy Barrett, Mr. Ron Barrett, who was the illustrator for that book, said he gave the character in the book that Groucho Marx disguise because you know, the food in the book comes from disguise. The food, you know, the mana, the nourishment. Like, I feel like you may be coming off like you're wearing the disguise, or people don't recognize you, or people don't get, why don't you want to be at our club, in our club? Why don't you want to sit at our table? I think it's because, you know, you're being fed from the sky right now. You are tapping into the Aquarian energy. You are tapping into the qualities of ether and air. There's a lot intangible that's really being rooted in you right now. And because of that, it's giving you a very different perspective. Others may not recognize you here, but what's coming through you will become evident. It will have credibility down the road. I really feel that. And perhaps, perhaps once we enter into the next building cycle, you know, once this energy we're currently in comes to a culmination point with that Capricorn full buck moon, which I think of the buck moon, I think the hunting season, I think the hunt is on. I think that we've already gone beyond the point of the hunt where we were chasing after the hare, where we were distracted by our fears. Now we're going to the next stage of evolution here. We're in process in our transformation, and we're already well on our way. But there may be something that comes on the 26th of July, just with the way it introduced itself, where we do really see something concrete taking root here, okay? Where we do recognize that even though we're in strange times, and even though people may seem strange, okay, there is something here that comes right in the end, you know? And there's also something coming through you right now that, even though it may seem quite intangible to others, um, it's something that leaves your mark upon the world, much like that book, you know, just a silly, absurd children's book has stood the test of time. I mean, people still know about that book to this day. Um, and Judy Barrett said about this book and the legacy of this book that was created just purely out of something totally silly, something totally nonsensical. She said, I feel like I've made my mark on the earth and the book will outlive me, as will the story, which just gives me goosebumps to say that. But it's really true. And see, I feel like this is something that's coming through you, right? Oh, ooh, that is so magical. There was a little firefly that just like shot up and glimmered. It had that, it had that energy. It had that energy of you know, the fire fairies coming through, maybe a sparkle fairy coming through there. Yeah, I mean, there's something here, all right? And maybe there's something that is starting to awaken in you. You have some inspiration, something you want to do, somewhere you want to go, some step you want to take, something you're ready to dive into here. I think it's changing the climate, right? And as people are witnessing you sort of shift how you're moving your cardinal signs, you're getting a lot of these interesting responses to what you're doing because people think that it's like ridiculous or you're unrealistic or you have your head in the clouds. But I do feel like, ironically, you know, something will be credible in the end where you're being discredited now. Something will shift because it does leave your mark. It leaves your mark. So there's some calling you're answering here. And it's interesting to me because you may deal with a tomato tornado. You may be dealing with somebody who's really freaking angry because you don't make sense to them anymore. They may get so frustrated from holding in, you know, their sense of confusion instead of just like showing this vulnerability of like, I don't get what's going on with you. Like, I thought I knew you, but I don't know who you are anymore. Instead of just getting real with you, you know, they hold it in, it gets pressurized, then they get all red in the face and it comes out in a tomato tornado, you know, a big outburst, you know, makes a big mess of things. But, you know, that's the thing about a storm too, is it can't clear the air. Okay. So try to just give a little space where you are dealing with people being reactive here. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with the peen weasel here, you know, I think people think you're up to something. And all they know is they feel like they don't have the power that they used to have over you. They feel like you've reclaimed some kind of power here, and where they're feeling confused about a way forward, they feel like you have, you know, a clear view. There's something you've illuminated here. They know you got an Ace of Wands. They're wondering, where did you get this Ace of Wands and what are you going to do with it? They think you're up to something sneaky, and you may be dealing with some people that are trying to figure it out. They're trying to suss it out. But see, they don't understand, like, they may not know what you're up to because they are being sneaky. It's like, well, you know, of course, you're going to be cut off from that illumination of what I got going on here because I feel like, you know, you're undermining me. You're trying to cut off, like, what I'm trying to grow here, right? So that means that I have to move in a different way. I have to move in a different way because I'm busy trying to see the future here, okay? Some of you may have also cut off a connection. Some of you are trying to redefine a connection. That's the thing about that book too. It was written by a couple. It was written by Judy and Ron Barrett, okay? And they were married, but they went through a separation and then eventually a divorce, but they remained the very best of friends. And they totally transformed the relationship into a creative partnership. And so they wrote that book together. They wrote that book together. And so it shows you that if you don't sort of put your biases ahead of you, and if you can be open-minded, sometimes when things go through a transformation, a connection goes through a transformation, a situation starts to shift, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like there can be something else that grows from it, right? But somebody may not be able to embrace that perspective right now, even though you can see it. Yeah, because see, somebody's used to being in charge here with a former child star. You know, I get that. Like somebody feels like, but wait a minute, I'm the one who's supposed to hold the fire, you know, not you. How did you get your hands on that fire there? And that's why they're acting out a little bit. This, whoever you're dealing with here, whatever's coming in as some kind of like oppositional force, it's really there to try to challenge your authority, chart your course here. And it's acting out much like a child would act out to get attention, like throwing a temper tantrum, want to burn your bridge, even though they don't understand. Like, no, there's a way this gap can be bridged for both of us. Like there's something really cool that can come out of this if you just chill out, man. Like just chill out, hang out for a while. See if you can get a new view. You need to be on timeout, man. You might, you may have needed to put somebody on timeout. They were being too inflammatory. You're like, you're going to destroy everything. When actually there's an easier way to get through this. We can just, we can just take that burnt toast. We can make some rafts out of it, and we can, find ourselves on that waterway, smooth sailing here, See, somebody wants to hold all the power in a dynamic, and that is the temptation that just like gets you courted every time, and blocks off your ability to find a way through. Yeah. Somebody may be trying to find the way through to you, but they don't understand it's the temptation to like hold all the power in the situation, being the one who calls the shots. It sort of like blocks the avenue, right? It's preventing the nourishment from coming in. Yeah. Somebody's frustrated, with the feral nerd here. They're frustrated, okay? They don't know what to do with these new sensations that are stirring in their body, They don't know how to approach you, how to open up communication around this, about the ways that you're lighting up their consciousness. Is whatever's stirring in you, cardinal signs, with whatever's awakening in you, it's also like it's turning somebody else on, but not from like a lower like baseline of energy. It's not coming from the loins. Let's say that it's like something that you're stimulating in their consciousness. It has something to do with your perspective, the way you're looking at things, or the way that you're communicating about things, or the way you're moving here. But it's mirroring something to this person that it's causing them to have to like confront a fear, like a big fear. Okay. And so that's why there's this like sort of push-pull energy within this individual. It makes them feel like they're losing control of a narrative, and they don't understand. It's like, yeah, man, like lose control. You gotta just like let yourself go to it. then we'll really have some fun, you know. Don't be like in that place where you have to have it so like contained, like this is not going to work with the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs cannot be tamed right now. They cannot be tamed. They are hungry like the wolf. And they have all of these paths that are calling them forward for exploration. And they have to answer the call of the moon. And in fact, they will answer the call of the moon when that full moon arrives on the scene on July 10th. Because we know it's the full buck moon, and the buck stops here. And this is where the hunt truly begins. And of course, the buck, to me, it's all about the stone of destiny. So there's some charge you're going to be leading at that time. And it has everything to do with the shift that has recently occurred with Jupiter moving out of Gemini, where it was so conflicted and so riddled with anxiety, fear, indecision, to being truly at home in its exaltation in Cancer. So you've put this behind you. You're not in this place of division here anymore. Okay, let me get one more round here, just to sort of like cap off this energy, and then I'm going to get a little mini read for each of you, so you have your own kind of details to fill in the gaps with here, okay? Speaking of details, that's another thing about the illustration work that Ron Barrett did in that book. Very, very detailed. And every time you open that book and you looked at what could be the same page that you've seen, 100 different times, you would see something new. And so do expect where things have been kind of like in a real fixed state here with urinal death, where something has just seemed to have been in a real stagnant state. Expect to see it starting to really transform, all right? And as it's transforming, again, we have this energy, this effing guy, the change rouses fear in this effing guy. Whoever this character is that walks with a big stick here, there's something that it's making them feel a sense of insecurity, like that they're losing control of a situation. And yet the very fact that they're losing control is their salvation. They just don't see it yet. They will, though. And I think that this character has kind of paused for a minute too. I think they were thinking of burning a bridge, and now they're reconsidering. Okay, so give a little time here for there to be a bridge and understanding built between the two of you as well here. But I see there are multiple paths of exploration that are opening up. And it's important to explore these paths. They're like side quests that ultimately align you with your moon. And when I'm saying align you with your moon, think of the moon as, your true soul's nature that sometimes you conceal, or sometimes in the past maybe you've modified a bit, just so you could make your way easier in the world. But again, I feel like you're howling at the moon, like you don't want to be separate from that part of you anymore, that more soulful side of you. And because of that, that means that what you used to sort of hold back, or you maybe only shared with a select few, it's like you're getting the call coming in here from source. It's like, no, we need you right now. Like, we need the dreamers, we need the merrymakers, we need the people who are plugged in, we need the people who are getting the downloads, we need the people that have a message to share, no matter how out there it may seem. We need these people because we need to really dismantle all of these boxes that have kept us too fixed for too long, and we need to get more into a flow state here. And cardinal signs, you're taking those steps to like really help to anchor that energy. We have to remember Pluto in Aquarius. The age of Aquarius is all about the work that brings about the expansion. It's laying down that foundation. And Pluto, you know, has such a tie to Capricorn and to that full moon that will be coming in Capricorn, because Capricorn was really hosting that energy last year. So that's why we're sort of really stepping into this quality right now of like, okay, let's bring about the dawn. Let's build an on-ramp to the dawn, okay? And there's an elevation and perspective that comes with that. And initially, it may mean that you have to separate from the pack a bit to, you know, do a little road work ahead of the learning curve that's to come. Sometimes the wolf, even though the wolf comes back, takes care of the pack. Sometimes the wolf has to be a lone wolf and has to go off like the hermit to do that south node work of the Virgo south node, right? And there's a new understanding of what power is, but it has to come about through, I feel like a particular character that's used to operating from a use of power that's from one level of understanding that's going through a complete transformation, a metamorphosis here that will shift things in the future here. But you got to kind of do a little time hopping here, cardinal signs, and maybe you have to hop into that future to retrieve a bit of that light and make it evident to those who don't see you as credible. There might be something you're plucking out of the ether here. There might be something that you're going to pull off here that will sway those who maybe couldn't see what you've been trying to show them all along. And it's not just something for you, it's something you've been trying to show this individual or these people, or you know, maybe even yourself, you know, in an odd way, by certain difficult scenarios you found yourself in, certain experiences you've drawn to you, okay? Something you've been trying to, you know, reveal for everybody's benefit here, okay? Not just for you. There may be that sense, like some people may feel like you're leaving me out of the loop or you're leaving me behind. It's like, no, like I got to find my way first, you know? I got to put on my air mask first, you know? The old way, it's coming down, man. And I gotta, you know, get my oxygen in first before I can even begin to start to provide any assistance in helping you find the way through. And there is that energy, even though we're all in it together, there's also this need to show up for ourselves at this time. Okay, one more round of this, and then we're going to go into individuals here to see how it may be influencing each of you cardinal signs. See, there's a lot of transformation that's occurring here in consciousness. The BS is being completely broken down, right? And the instincts are rising, but there's also like, there's a transformation that's happening here. And it's pretty fierce, because when you go through that transformation in consciousness, and when you see through the BS, and you see through your own BS too, like, whew, it's a lot to like take that in.
And there's certain insights that you're having here as well. This coming in for those of you that are yogis, yoginis, those of you that are on tantric paths, you may really be experiencing the activation of the creative life force. You're tapping into the kundalini fire. You may be sharing some perspectives or trying to communicate with others about some things that they may view as just total like quack logic, but you understand, no, it's quark logic, man. I'm trying to share something with you that is coming from the quantum field, and you may not believe me now, but just you wait. Just you wait. Wait until you see that jello mold appear on the horizon. Wait until you see it rain down orange juice from the sky. Then you'll believe me. Yeah. It's got a little bit of like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds vibes. Marmalade skies. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of a trip here, and you are tapping into that state of consciousness. It's psychedelic, even without you having to imbibe anything to take it in. The reality is that soma is accessible to us at any time. And a lot of you are tapping into that essence. That's how you're able to move through this territory. You figured it out. You cracked the code. Oh, when I meditate, when I turn my gaze up here, I always understand where my true north is. I've consulted my pineal gland. It's shown me the way through. Right? So some of you are hitting the mat. You're doing yoga. You're getting your downloads. You're balancing your chakras. You know, you're working with your energy body, and it's not so out there. I mean, even within the medical system, they've done research studies on this. They have registered energy frequencies in alignment with the chakra centers. Now, even they're starting to bring it in. This is why we have integrative medicine now. People are starting to wake up to the reality of things that at one time felt really out there, all right? So do expect to sort of lead the charge in this respect. I also feel like it would be good to clean up the diet, all right? Because I feel like cardinal signs, you're pulling a lot down from that ether. And you want to run your energy real cleanly, okay? If you're eating a bunch of stuff, a bunch of heavy food, it can be good, you know, to get something in like some, you know, mashed potatoes or, you know, something a little bit more hearty if you feel like you're losing your grounding cord, okay? So, you know, notice about the way the energetics of food are informing you where you're at too. Help you digest sort of how you're acclimating to these climate changes around you too. You feel like you're wandering too far off into the alfalfa, well, get grounded, you know. Maybe have a real grounding, warm, nourishing meal. Maybe even though it doesn't seem seasonal, you know, make yourself some mashed potatoes, okay? Get some good protein in. And if you feel like a little bit of cloudiness in deciphering some of the stuff you're downloading right now, you know, try eating a little bit lighter, you know, getting some nourishing soups, getting some nourishing juices that can help you run your energy more cleanly, okay? I think it'll support you in this transformation that you're going through, but a lot of you are tapping in this way. And I do feel like there's something here that it's something you're pulling off, or it's something that's going to be proven. Like the proof is in the pudding, something maybe you predicted or something you've been talking about that people have rolled their eyes at, and then all of a sudden they're going to see you pull that rabbit out of the hat, and they're going to go, oh my God, now I've seen it all. I really feel that. What do we got here? Who are you? Who are you? I feel like that's this kind of moment. Who are you? I mean, I know who I'm talking to, but who are you really? Like, there's so many secret sides of you that are going to start to be revealed to others. Because this is what it's about. It's about all of the mass and all the artifice is like falling away. And what's been hidden is coming up to the surface. It's like your moon is coming to the surface. So where people have been used to encountering you in a particular way, we have to remember the moon is Cancer's ruler. Okay. So with this energy coming in here, your moon is where your blessing is coming from. And your moon is what is being exalted. Your moon is not cloaked anymore. Your moon is at the surface. So yes, look at your moon sign in your natal chart. Okay. That's what's coming to the surface. This is why people are like, who are you? What used to be cloaked is not. And you're not going to be able to contain it because you're tapping in to that lunar essence. You're tapping into that summer. That's how it's coming through. Because the dreamer, the active dreamer is being awakened in you. So you can, dream that dream into being. You need to be the merrymakers, man. Okay. Also look at your progressed chart because the moon, it moves more frequently through your chart. So there's something about that, tracing your moon, right? Tracing your moon and noticing that you're really sensitive to that at this time, like what's going on with your moon. I also feel like you're introducing people to these different parts of you. It's like you're ready, you're ready to show people all these different parts of you. And it might be coming through something, too that you're sharing or you're creating here. All right. But it's definitely creating climate change around you. Let's do a cut of the deck with the Arcane BS here, just to cap off this message, and then I'm going to get a little message for each of you. I love it. Like nothing's chaining you. You've broken those chains. A lot of you have broken ancestral holding patterns that have been frozen in place for a long time. And you've given it the axe. And man, it's like freedom rock. Turn it up, man. You're ready to turn it up, man. And there's a lot of burgeoning life force there just waiting to be expressed. I see it. Yeah, you finally have found what's worth defending here. Your heart, what lands in your heart, that's aligned with my truth. And I'll face off with that opponent. I'll enter the hall of the dragon. I will walk through that hall of mirrors and I will shatter every false reflection in order to move forward in alignment with my heart and my truth. And it's bold and it's brave and it is visionary because most people in the world today, they let their fears compel them in the way they move. And you're moving from a different power source here. And it's a thing of beauty. It's a beautiful vengeance against those who would oppose the dawn, okay? 4404 on the clock. Yeah, it's a building block for the future, man, okay? It is the new foundation. So let's check it out. We are going to dive in. I think we're just going to keep it on this level because I'm just enjoying this sort of like flow of absurdity. So I think I want to work with the super awesome future cards because it is going to be super awesome, man. And you can say that's a ludicrous fantasy. Go right ahead. It's going to be super awesome. We're going to show you, man. We're going to find a way to make it super awesome, cardinal signs, okay? We're going to open up with Cancer, okay? Cancer coming in at 44.54. All right. Woo. Off with their head. Yeah, I mean, Venus is on the attack. It may also be a little bit of invaders from Mars, okay? Cancer, you could be dealing with an Aries or Scorpio who's on the attack a bit here. There could be a feminine figure here. Could be somebody that is connected to a lover that's a little hot under the collar. Okay. Could be a Taurus, could be a Libra connection here. They're out for someone's head. Maybe they're, stirring up a bunch of drama or something. And everybody's scattering. Everybody's running for cover. But I feel like you're going to face something head on. I don't think you're afraid to face this. All right. Also, you may be having some interesting experiences at night when you're stargazing, that invader from Mars energy. You might be seeing some interesting lights in the sky, things you can't quite explain. Like, what is that? I don't think that's Starlink, and I don't know what planet that could be. Is that a satellite? I don't know. There's something strange there. Some of you may be really fascinated with that. Some of you may be hunting for UFOs, or you're sort of tapping into conspiracy theory stuff right now. You're starting to look beyond programming. You're seeing something that is helping you really grok the psyops. Maybe you're starting to see what they're trying to distract us from too. You might be getting some download about this. Interesting, Cancer. Okay. I got like military stuff coming in around that too. So you might be connected to somebody who's in the military. Bottom of the deck, illness. Might be somebody you're a little bit worried about right now. It could be somebody that you feel like they've gone a little too out in the ether. Maybe you feel like somebody has lost their grounding a bit. Maybe somebody who is a vet, or somebody who is, been on a tour of duty. Maybe somebody who's dealing with some kind of like PTSD, or dealing with some kind of challenges. Could have something to do with a house and some disruption that's occurred in a house or a living situation. Like maybe somebody just seems like they're a little bit disconnected from reality, like sort of the outward presentation is that everything's fine, but there's something really not okay. Like something needs to be a bit more stabilized. This could be in relation to somebody who's kind of popping off too with the fox here. You sense that there's something going on with this person, like something that's hidden, something that's concealed. Fox medicine deals with things that are kind of like hidden. This person's coming off perhaps really cocky, really boastful here. But you know that there's something's not right. Like you suspect that there's sort of like saving face. It's coming in with the energy of temperance. Like maybe you suspect that this person's like a little off balance right now, or is needing some kind of support. Maybe you've been keeping an eye on this person because you've been a little bit worried about them. I could see that. Maybe something's felt a little off on the home front too. Now I got this kind of like shifting a little bit. Like maybe your home feels like the energy's not right. Like something feels off in the home. Maybe you felt a little under the weather in your home as well. You might wonder if there's been like some kind of like sneaky energy that's found an entryway into your home space. You might need to do some work to balance that out, especially if you've been feeling like there's been a lot of arguments in the home, or your energy has felt very out of sync, okay? And interesting, out of sync. There might even be something like going on with your drains, something going on with the sink, like a clog or something like that going on, okay? It could be because somebody is feeling really destabilized inside, but they're like holding everything inside. So it's making them kind of like put on an extra strong front or come off as being sort of cocky when really there's something they need to get off their chest. Like I feel like they're gonna have an outburst if they don't like get an outlet to express this energy. They may be, having an outburst. You may be witnessing this, okay? Or that may be what's needed to bring balance in a situation so you can find a way through, okay? It's going to take strength in order to rise above a challenge you've been facing in the past. This may even be a cyclical kind of energy. You may be dealing with somebody who just, they do fine for a while, and then the next thing you know, there's like an outburst or something destabilizing happens in the home environment. This person may be struggling with something, like mentally, emotionally, they need a space where they can like bring this forward. Also, somebody may just like take off. They may go MIA, they may get some distance all of a sudden. And this can be like a little bit of a shock, a little bit of a destabilizing influence here. Like somebody may feel like they just need to go, like they need to distance themselves when they're feeling certain things here. And you suspect, like, what are they up to? Like, you think there might be something sneaky going on. There's a lot of this, like, sneaky energy here. And a conflict, some kind of conflict here. Somebody on the attack. Could be a woman that's on the attack. You may wonder if somebody has a sneaky link. Okay. Let me see here. Give me any more details about this for Cancer. Cancer needs to be aware of. I think you're going to be surprised, okay? The way something turns out here. We got Chariot energy on the scene, your energy. I do feel like where a situation has become quite monotonous, like you keep dealing with the same issue again and again and again and again and again, and you're really tired of nursing this thing because you can't seem to get to the other side of a conflict or the other side of some kind of drama. It's just always one thing after another, or a really difficult person who maybe can just have a tendency to pop off or be volatile. I do feel like there's some gift coming in here for you, something that's giving you happiness. I feel the happiness it gives you is it gives you an opportunity to move forward. I do feel like it's coming through communication. This is the crossing energy. It's what's up ahead. There's something hasn't been communicated yet, okay? But I do feel like there's communication that's coming in here, and it will align with that full moon in Capricorn that comes in on July 10th. It hatches a new vision for you. It brings about some kind of emotional transformation, and it makes the path forward really clear. This could be connected to a Sagittarius. It could be connected to traveling somewhere, moving somewhere. There's some kind of shift. There's something geographical about this, and I see it with the wish, okay? And the wish comes through communication, but it's communication that was blocked up until now. There could be a man involved in this, real like sharp-dressed man, okay? Could have darker features, you know, darker eyes, darker hair, like to wear dark colors. They might be darker complected, okay? They don't have to be. This could be somebody from another country, another culture, okay? But there's something coming in here, and it's a brand new beginning. It opens up the road, and it sparks a new vision, and it comes through this communication. So there's something that's being offered here. I feel like you're going to be really happy about this, whatever it is. And you feel like you're getting to the other side of a pretty tricky situation, okay? Something that just seemed like a repeat problem, like we're never going to be free of this vicious cycle. I think you're figuring something out here. It does look promising. And I do see some action will be taken with the full moon in Capricorn that gets you on this track. Let me do a cut of the deck. Yep, it's coming through a message. Again, the message, the communication, it might even come through a letter, something you receive, snail mail here. Whatever this is, it is the way forward, okay? It might even be news about, you know, somebody who wants to sort of like stoke you out here. Okay, this might have something to do about a new home, maybe homesteading too, okay? Maybe you're wanting to live in a different sort of way, all right? So this could have something to do with move, relocation, or changing something in the home environment where you feel like, all right, this, you know, considers what works for me too. Maybe you were dealing with a selfish person before and something's being ironed out here. It looks like a building block for the future, okay? And it looks like a little bit more gregarious spirit entering the scene. You could be dealing with somebody born in the year of the pig in relation to this. And I'm hearing like from Charlotte's Web, that's some pig. So you may have thought that this person was just really selfish, or maybe you just didn't think they had it in them. You might be surprised. Okay? You might be surprised what's presented here, okay? It might have you singing that pig's praises, okay? So, yeah, I mean, I really do feel like something's shifting here that's going to bring you happiness, all right? So just stay tuned for that. I mean, it looks like there's a little drama there you're going to be navigating. I think things are going to get a little odd, but in general, I do feel like you're going to find the way through it, okay? All right, let's see what is coming in here for Libra at 58:29 on the clock. 13 to 11 as that breaks down. 4 to 2. 4 to 2, 6. Decision being made. Moving out of the crossroads. Stepping into that big Emperor energy. All right. There could be an emperor that is involved in your situation. Also, there's some kind of transformation that is happening here. The transformation is justice. It brings you into alignment. It brings alignment for two. And there's like this high priestess energy there too, where there is a way through. Something unconscious is about to be made conscious. In other words, I feel like something that you have intuited or sensed, something that perhaps comes to you as an inspiration, as some form of spiritual guidance, you're going to see it actually manifest in material reality here. Right? And I do feel like there's a lot of hidden knowledge that is being revealed to you here, and it's coming from within. But I also think as it rises within you, this awareness, you'll gain the knowledge of things in the world around you and in your relationships and situations. Oh, yeah. Secrets are about to be spilled. Secrets are about to be revealed. And you do have insight into secret matters. There may be a secret society that is even keeping their eyes on you. They may feel like, uh-oh, cover blown. They've picked up the scent of our trail. We left the fancy feast out too long. Now they've been able to suss out our hiding place. Yeah, there could be 3 involved in this situation. Oh yeah, I expect one of these characters to come forward to try to strike a balance. Hey, can we kind of like work out a little, street justice here? Let's say, I'll sweeten the pot. I'll sweeten the pot for you. I'm going to make you an offer here you can't refuse. Your fortunes are going to be on the rise, kid. I might leave you like a sitting pigeon. Beware of the messengers that come to you bearing opportunities that are supposed to be some kind of karmic balance for you that could actually get you in a much more disadvantaged position than your rightful spot here. Because I do feel with the number 20 here, there's already been judgment in your favor. Your gifts are already here for you, even though you may not see them yet. And you already have opened your road, even though you may feel like you haven't passed through that stargate yet that aligns you with the North Node. You will shortly. It's an awareness that, you've already arrived at within yourself. Like you've already locked into this frequency. But do expect some kiss-up energy coming in here towards you. Right. This could be somebody who's a bit of a bigwig. This could even be when I think of like secret society energy, or when I think of that kind of like, Illuminati sort of energy. I also think of those who hold a lot of financial power, a lot of sway. So this could even be like some kind of corporate entity approaching you who, is trying to sell you, some get rich quick, path of rise here that could be the very thing that makes you fall. They may, try to convince you. They may sweeten the pot in some way, but they may try to convince you that it would be good to sign on with them because, like, the way you're looking at things, like you're not going to get where you want to go like that. Okay. But the cost, like, of playing a certain game and how it could put you at a disadvantage. That's what I got with this game. Be aware of contracts or people are coming, forward acting like they got something really good if you sign on with them, or if you agree to their terms, especially anything that involves like your business, anything that involves your money, or your investment of your time and energy. Because let me tell you, time is money, all right? Time is money. Your time is very valuable right now, and the way you invest it. So pay attention to that, okay? Let's see, give me more details about this for Libra. For Libra, more details about this, Spirit. Mm. Ooh. Yeah, this is about somebody wanting to cut a deal. It's like they're promising you some like spotlight here, or some kind of um, exposure to your advantage. And what they don't want exposed is their hidden intentions here. They may even feel like, you're a bit cocky. And so they might kind of want to set you up so they can take you down a few pegs here. This is, this temperance energy coming in with the judgment energy, strong Sagittarian energy here. So this particular character, it sees that you got like some kind of elevation here. You forged your contract with spirit here, and you're not in a fixed position anymore. Like there's something you're moving forward with, and you're moving forward in such a way that, it's not what was sort of like expected of you. That's what I thought. Okay. And so as you're moving this way, somebody's wanting to come in, like shake things up and like get a handle on things by cutting some deal with you that actually could really put you in a compromising position here. And with that, I got that Hierophant energy, okay? Hierophant energy. So yeah, like some institution, some corporation, some authority figure, somebody who may hold power, somebody who may have some advantages that you lack right now. But if you give this person an inch, they're going to take a mile. And the way that it's coming out, it's like oh yeah, look at that. If you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, because their brand of justice is to have you in an effing vice. They want to have your head in a vice. Oh no, don't have those innovative thoughts. No, don't think outside the box. Here, get in this box. This is a very comfortable box. I'll make sure, I give you an allowance in this box. You'll be better off than you were before. But yeah, but it's a bit like giving the Kraken the reins, You need to make sure that you don't put yourself in this tight spot. It will be very destabilizing for your creativity. It will be very destabilizing for this contract you've made with spirit, this thing that you've been charged with pulling down from the ether and creating here. This medicine, this like squid medicine, this is the medicine of creativity. And it will take over something that you're meant to anchor here. You're meant to anchor this. Somebody who feels like they have more power, more authority, wants to try to take charge of this and call the shots. This is somebody that's on a power trip. So you do need to be aware of this. Now, it's really interesting the way these two cards came out, because it's like we got this energy at the crossroads. Okay? Now, this energy at the crossroads, and it's interesting because there's also like sort of collective energy coming in here too. This, just as a side note, I got like Fox News and a lot of stuff kind of being put out through the news outlets right now that's distractionary in nature, from deals that are being cut behind the scene, especially where it really involves oil, okay, and involves profits, and how it's all, architected in such a way to grab a hold of the people's consciousness and to create fear and destabilization, so we won't activate our creative nature and, move from our own place of authority and focus as we're trying to think about the dawn, right? What we're calling into being here. So just be aware of the mouthpieces right now. And there might be something about that too. You might need to start being more mouthpiece. But as you're more of a mouthpiece, that also may, create energy of those who want to silence your voice in some way by getting you in a limiting contract that has you just parroting their narrative. Be aware of that. Greedy energy with the piggy here. Okay. When there's something here that you really want to, develop that doesn't just feed you, it feeds many. Okay. So on one side, we got this like pig energy, and on the other side, we got rats. Oh man. Ooh, Libra. You got all this energy around you. It's a greedy energy. It's an energy that wants to seize control of your vision here, something that you've got a deal. You've already made your deal. You've made your deal with spirit here. And, they do see that there's something here that's on the rise for you. There's some kind of balance coming in here for you, but there's a sneaky energy. You got these like rats hanging out. You got these rats wondering, how are they getting the bag? How did they get themselves out of that situation? How did they make a break for it? How did they do it? How did they get out of the grip of the man? Yeah, that's what it is. So you got eyes on you right now. That's what I got. You got eyes on you right now. Be aware of this, but I don't enter into compromising arrangements here. All right, one more round of this before I do a cut. So what guidance, Spirit, for the way through for Libra in this client, man? Because same old, man. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you, okay? I'm in the middle here with you, Spirit. So what do you want me? What do you want me to do, Spirit? Let's see what Spirit wants you to do here, Libra. Let's see if we can get some coordinates for you. Oh. F yeah, man. That's right. Look at that. You follow your hearts, babies. You follow your hearts. You already dealt with the karma machine rolling over you, flattening you so you could be the new road ahead. It came from the very grit of your being, what was just ground down to dust, man. But the road is rising up through you now. It was forged in fire from all those thorns you grasped. And I love this energy. It's so beautiful with those swallows. Like that flame burns eternal. And that flame, it really does remind me of that energy of Vesta, keeping the fires, keeping those fires burning, keeping the fires of the high priestess burning, the wisdom that you've retrieved from your time of grasping those thorns, like your heart's being transformed here. You've reclaimed your heart. But see, there is sweetness coming in here for you with that beautiful sparrow energy. Okay. I don't know why. This is kind of interesting. Maybe even from like a Jack Sparrow kind of character. Somebody like this. I don't know why that's coming through. That might resonate down the road. There's something about that, okay? A likable troublemaker. I don't know what that is. Maybe you're a likable troublemaker. I don't know. You could be a rabble rouser here. But I see there's a gift coming in here for you. Whatever it is, it lights your fire, lights the fire of your heart. Makes all those thorns worth it, man. So if you've been feeling like things have been boring, or too routine, or not this drama again, it's really about to turn around for you. All right. You're going to head on up to that north node. I see your chariot's arriving on the scene too. It's going to help you break on through to the other side, right? You may be dealing with some like restrictive energy coming from, the Hierophant archetype. There could be Taurus involved in your situation. There could be Sagittarius involved in your situation. And Aries, Pisces, Okay. Cancer, any of these characters could be factoring into your situation. So just like be on the lookout for that. All right, let's do a cut of the deck, just to cap this off. See what we got. Ooh. Yeah, I like this. You're like, I'm done with the humdrum life. I'm about to claim the last little bit of magic in the world. And when I grab a hold of that magic, I'm going to go out and I'm going to share it with everyone so everybody remembers that we don't have to buy into this programming we've been sold. See, it's coming through again. Number 5, the Hierophant energy. Like you are not going to be put into a box. You're like, rest in peace to that. All right, those days are over. I'm off to greener pastures. Yeah. Ooh. But see, this is part of both the blessing and the bane of being a Libra. You know, there's always the opposition to the dawn. And this is something that only you can hold, Libra. How do I balance this shadow, this light, you know? How do I maintain this balance? And I think you've been seeing that for a while, you know? The energy's been really off, and there needs to be a lot more light filtering into this landscape. So I feel like that's what you're focusing on. This is the change you're bringing about. Because you recognize, like, things have been too close. Things have been too subversive. There's been too many secrets. Like, I've been dealing with too much of this, like, secret society stuff. It's like, you know, no. I'm ready to align with my kin. I'm ready for a new kind of vision, and see, it will come through for you. There is transformation occurring for you here. And we do have, again, there's that centaur energy here. So Jupiter's blessing is going to have you hitting the mark. I see it. You're going to shoot for the moon. You'll hit that mark. The path will open up for you. And there is some like old identity here that you're shedding. You've had a transformation in your consciousness, and you're ready to enter that waterway and find a new way here. Ooh, 1:17:03 on the clock. Yeah, see, your star is coming in. The Stargate is coming in for you. Okay. I just heard there might be a body of water that's connected with the Stargate for you, Libra. Not sure what that is, but I'm sure it will be revealed in time. 11:11 on the clock. Woo! Yeah, I would say so. Maybe for 2. Maybe 2 Stargates link up. A little bit filtering in here from Libra's download for Capricorn, starting at 1:17:44. Oh, yeah. Okay, Capricorn. You may be partnering up with a Libra here. You two are meant to perhaps weave a bit of destiny together. This coming through. Your stargates are linking up here, right? Maybe it's going to bridge a gap of a whole lot of time and distance, right? We will see what's coming in here for Capricorn. What's coming in here for Capricorn is the lunar cycle that, will be leading up to the big crescendo in your sign with that full moon, that buck moon on July 10th, Capricorn. Let's see what's coming through here for you. Yeah, you're absolutely linking up with somebody here. There's communication around this. There's somebody you're talking to, messages going back and forth. You're hatching a plan, you're hatching a vision. There could be some kind of travel connected to this. Again, there could be a body of water factoring into this situation. With the wolf there, this could be about, sort of exploration, potential paths forward, potential options, There's also maybe a desire to get a little illumination about some blind spots, and maybe that's some exploration that's going on here too. Well, could do it like this, but what about that? You know, it's just sort of like getting a lay of the land, I'm sensing here. You could also be dealing with a Pisces in this situation. There could be a Scorpio involved in this situation too. Maybe a Scorpio that's feeling really emotional at this time, very sensitive at this time. You may not be aware of this. You might become aware of this through some communication. They could even be in a Ophiuchus. They could be a Sagittarius born November 30th to December 18th. Okay, they run a lot of Scorpio energy here when you're in that Ophiuchus energy. Again, it could be a Libra because Degrassi said, I was tuning in on one of his talks on the astrological signs, and he was saying that Libra actually in the old like 13 moon, you know, format would have been an Ophiuchus. So you could be dealing with an Ophiuchus here in relation to this. I feel like there's some action that's going to be taken there with somebody that you feel a connection with. It's going to hit the mark. Positive energy. Okay, let's see what this is. Let's see what this is. There could be a trip connected to this. All right. I feel like you sort of feel like there's a challenge too here in opening a road and moving forward. There might be a real challenge with a move that you're wanting to make as well. I could see that. There could be a Virgo connected to this, or it could be something that's really tied up in the South Node, like nobody knows the troubles I've seen. It's just sort of like, I don't know, I feel like you've got a lot of stuff that you're hauling behind you. There's just so much that you got to sort through in order to be able to move forward. That's what I feel here. You might want to move away too from a particular town, a particular city. You might want to get away from that. You might want to be in more of a natural environment. You may have some fears too. They've been holding you back a little bit. I think you feel a little bit conflicted. I also feel like you're dealing with some grief that's still lodged here, you know. It's old grief. It's old grief that needs to be cleared out. You might need to do some work around your cardiovascular system too. There's something about fit for the road ahead. You might have been dealing with like some health challenges too that have been caused by stress or your environment, or perhaps work that you've been doing that's been extremely taxing. It's been draining you of energy. Right? I do feel like you're determined though. I feel like you're determined to move forward, and you're going to find a way to move forward. You're going to face your fears head on, no matter what comes your way. And I do feel like you are starting to take steps here to address your health. Because there is something about this, like you need to be fit for the road ahead. There may be some heavy hauling coming up here in the future, especially in relation to a move. And it's going to take your strength, right? So rest up while you can, but also it's time to make a decision. And it's time to take care of your health. I feel like you need to de-stress. You've got too much on your mind here. There's been a lot of stuff you've been worried about that you need to be able to find pockets of calm. You might have been having some difficulties, some breathing difficulties too. Allergies may be affecting you. You may also just have a lot of grief that you need to clear from your lungs, all right? So you might want to work with some steam inhalations. Bring in a little rosemary into your steam inhalations, and that can help you get that old, like stuck grief out of your lungs too. Just, I feel like you need more oxygenation, like cardio and strength, you know, you're needing more of that. You know, ironically, as I'm looking at this imagery, it's like the brain seems a little congested and the lungs seem congested, but I feel like your heart's solid, all right? But it's more like the oxygen uptake. Ooh, the oxygen uptake may be what's also affecting like the brain. All right? Some of you may need to get like some kind of sleep test done, check for sleep apnea. Or you need better air quality, you know. There may be some kind of pollutant in your environment or something you're struggling with here that's affecting your breathing, okay? Some cases could be mold, all right? So I see you really addressing your health here and wanting to make a move, but knowing you got a lot sort of like to lug behind you here. You might be starting to whittle down things too, letting go of things so it's easier for you to make a move here. All right. Yeah. There's a tricky situation that you're navigating here. I do see the winds of change coming in. All right. Again, there's a plan that's being hatched here. There's communication that's coming in around opening up a path here. And the best actions to transform a situation, move something forward here. And I do see the blender, okay? Something is being whipped up into a frenzy here. It is the winds of change. There could be like an alcoholic connected to a situation or a particularly volatile force that's like, how do we navigate this? You know, how do I navigate this voluntary? There's something about that. Voluntary, it's like combining volatile with volunteering. Like it's almost like the merging of those two words. Don't volunteer yourself for something that is going to be volatile. There might be a need to handle a volatile situation. I don't know why I got this. It could have something to do with somebody who has like some kind of addiction, okay? Like alcohol, or somebody who's partying hard. A little tricky influence here to navigate, okay? It could really like stir up things. For two here, I feel like two could really get caught up in this if something's not handled the right way. So there might be something tricky to navigate here to overcome a potentially volatile situation. Right? So before you dive into the thick of it, I do feel like there is like a need to navigate something gingerly. That's how it's coming in. And it's in moving away from something and a certain fear that needs to be faced. I feel like whatever you're doing here, you do have to face it courageously, right? You have to face it head on. That's what it seems. Get your health in working order. This is really important. And maybe this is what you feel like, I need to face this head on. And maybe you're partnering with somebody here on this too. Like you want to move away from some old habits. You want to move away from the things that are draining your vitality. It's 11:22 on the actual time here as I'm bringing this in. You might be working with somebody. They're helping you kind of get yourself out of this like spin cycle you've been in here and get you to a place where, you know, your health is being stabilized. I think this is a really positive energy coming in here for you, ultimately, Capricorn, okay? But there are some tricky things to navigate and some things that need to get switched up here to ward off what could, could be a situation you don't want to deal with in terms of your health. Like, I feel like there's some protocol you're putting in place here. You might even be getting like something coming in from a healthcare practitioner, and it's like, look, you need to take this action, and you need to take this action right now, because if you don't, it's sort of like there's a storm brewing here. So it's time to really handle this. It's time to really get your health in working order. There's some changes that need to be made here. And this may include like what was coming in initially, like you might need to, bring in more things like smoothies and bring in more real nourishing foods here, and things that are going to help really revitalize you as well. So you might be getting a blender. You might have noticed, you've been more sort of like agitated. Maybe you've been popping off more recently. You've been stressed. Well, stress is a precursor for all disease, and stress, when we're experiencing inflammatory emotions, they're speaking of inflammation in the body too. So you may be turning to things like juicing and making smoothies and things like this to sort of like start to quell the inflammation a bit. I could see that too. You may have some inflammation in the gut too. I'm getting a lot coming in around health for you. You may have some inflammation coming in the gut that's affecting your nutrient absorption too, that you're trying to clear out here, maybe by giving the digestion a little bit of a break, eating more easily digestible foods for a while you get your digestive fire back. Soups and smoothies and juicing and things like that. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I think you're on the move here, exercise wise. You're wanting to move some influences out of your life that have been devitalizing you here, and you're looking to stir things up. But there's also some changes that need to be made here. We got kiss up energy coming in for you too. It's really interesting here, right? So yeah, you might be looking at how I need to get out of my current work situation. If I don't get out of my current work situation, I don't see how I'm going to be able to, get my health to the place it needs to be for the road ahead. You may deal with a real volatile work environment. And you may not know it, but there could be somebody in your work environment who's like, they're drinking on the job, okay? And you get caught up. It's like you catch the heat for them. This person also may be really like ungrounded. They make more work for you. They stir everything up, and it's destabilizing for you. It's like you get caught up in sort of like their chaos by proxy, by default. And this character may know that you've already sort of called judgment on this situation, like you're wanting to move out of this line of work or move out of this environment or whatever this is, and they may be trying to convince you to stay. I see that. I do feel like there is something a little tricky here that you're navigating. And what's really at work here with the secret, like you know what's sort of hidden behind the scenes. I think you've also seen how screwed up something is. It looks like it's really coming in around a particular environment, maybe your work environment or your living environment. Like you've gained insight into the inner workings of a situation, and you know that this is a situation that creates blockage for you and somebody else has the upper hand. It's like there's something you've already seen here, despite what's like being presented to you on the surface. I see that. All right. You've already exercised wise judgment here. Interesting. Okay. So this is a lot to navigate. I mean, I think the clearest directive right now is it's telling you focus on your health, like pour your energy into really tending to your health, tending to your health. And there's something really strongly coming through about oxygen uptake, okay? So chlorophylls can be beneficial for you, and pranayama, breath work, deep breathing exercises, exposing your mind to more stimulation, you know, the right kind of stimulation, I feel is important for you too. Things that are more aligned with what feeds your heart here. And, you know, maybe some steam inhalations, as well as like cardiovascular is coming in really strongly. Cardiovascular and strength training, you know, it'll give you an inner stature that maybe is needed at this time for what you're rising up into here at Capricorn. Let me do a cut of the deck, see what we got. Look, wow. Well, there's happiness coming in for you too. You got a chariot, and you got a chariot, and you got a chariot. So far, all the cardinal signs got a chariot. Like the monotony is being broken. Like whatever endless loop of, you know, effery you've been dealing with here is totally being resolved. Like there is some gift coming in here for you. It's happiness. It's something that makes you happy. And I think you're going to take it while you got the opportunity and you're like, oh, we're going to run with this. That's what I see. So I'm almost seeing this like rat energy is like, you know, what's trying to hold you back, like this kiss up energy that's trying to hold you back from running forward, you know, toward that thing that's going to give you happiness here. But I feel like you're going to make a break for it. You are. You're going to make a break for it, but you're going to be a little sneaky. You're going to be a little sneaky with it. You're not going to reveal your moves here. I think because you know that you got like a couple energies here that are a little too fixated on what you got going on, and you don't want these characters to know where you're going. So I do feel like you will move. That piece was coming in for you, okay? I do feel like you are going to move, but you're not going to let a couple people know where you're going because you know that, you know, you can't trust these fools. They've been paying too close of attention to you, and whatever they're up to here, they want to exercise some kind of control over you. Again, coming in with that Hierophant energy. So I feel like you're busting moves here and you're busting loose, and I think it's looking good. Okay, you got happiness coming in here. The change will come. I just feel like there's a lot of work you got to do right now. You need to be in a good place health-wise for the road ahead, Capricorn. Okay, and finally, well, that's interesting. All right, this might be really immediate coming in, but this is the ticker tape I have for Aries. Next 72 hours from when you receive this message. Okay, well, Aries, you do initiate this energy at this time. I mean, all the actions going down in the house of Aries. Oh. Ooh, something's mixed up here. Hold up. Something's mixed up here. Okay, I'm going to have to straighten out this deck because all of a sudden all these cards are all screwed up here. You're dealing with a particularly tricky character here. You're dealing with a devil here that's trying to throw fireballs at your sun. They're trying to bring the force of lightning upon you, to bring down a tower for you. Whoever this character is that you're dealing with, they're trying to create some kind of destabilization for you and gain the upper hand in a situation in relation to something that's close to your heart here. And they're ramping up to do this again. This person is like adamant. Whoever this character is, they feel like they have something to school you on, okay? And they think it's justice. And some of you could be dealing with a nefarious wizard here who's trying to throw one obstacle on your path after another. They think it's justice for you to experience this. Piscean energy. Okay, this could have something to do with a Pisces, somebody maybe that you had a romantic connection with before, whose heart still burns for you. Maybe you gave this person a wake-up call. Maybe you brought the lightning on this person and you said, I'm not feeling this. I don't want to move forward in that direction. I want to move forward on my own. You might have schooled this person about this, brought them some kind of grief. And so now they want to try to get in the way of your happiness here. Like throwing fireballs at your happiness, like it's target practice, trying to bring a tower. Maybe even trying to bring a tower to end a connection. They want you to stay in the thorns and not experience like that heart fire that wants to get stoked in you here. Got Virgoan energy here, Leo energy, Pisces, Cancer, Libra. These are all characters that could be factoring into this situation. You're a Libra rising. You're an Aries descendant. All right. Yeah, it definitely has something to do with, it looks like a few masculines here that are trying to turn the wheel of fortune in their favor. Could be 3 of them. Sort of like little club here, little group of men trying to create some kind of destabilization in a home. Trying to break something up here, cause problems. That's it. All right. Interesting energy here. They've done it once, they're going to do it again. It's like a relentless energy. So just be on the lookout for this, okay? This could even be like sort of like fraternity kind of energy where like there's a dude in this situation who's getting swayed in the wrong direction by his bros, man. They're like bros before hoes, dude. And it's creating all kinds of problems. All kinds of problems that a man can't see at this time. Maybe won't see until hindsight, may not understand the way that's actually working a lot better for the friends than it is for them. Okay, I can see that too. So there could be, somebody who's being swayed to do something that's actually going to create like a lot of drama or upheaval, or could even create some serious rifts that will be regretted. All right, let's check this out. It's got masculine energy around it. Okay, let's see what this is. Yeah, connected to the past, trying to bring some kind of bad luck. They see that you're about to be on the rise, like the night of the living dead has already been upon you. You could have been dealing with any fixed sign energy here with the world. Like I feel like you take a licking, you keep on ticking. No matter what they throw at you, you keep rising back up again. Like they can't get rid of you. And yet they keep trying to come forward and eat your brains, gain control of your consciousness. They want you to see yourself as cursed or see like you're in like this bad luck cycle. They don't want you to feel like you have any kind of good fortune up on the horizon. They want to give you a dismal view here. It's like they're trying to put a glamour on you to affect your self-image, like the way you see yourself. So you see yourself in a distorted way. You don't see yourself for the truth of who you are. All right? They don't see you for who you are. The Emperor, 13, it's like they want to bring an end to your perspective as the Emperor. All right, so that 21 energy, that's the energy of the world. Like there's something they have tried multiple times, and no matter how many times they try it, they're never successful. You always rise up again, and yet they won't give it up because they're like zombies. These are like people that are like totally programmed. They have no freaking brains of their own. That's why they have to try to gain control of your consciousness so they can get a freaking clue. Expect a rebirth of this energy coming around, trying to stir stuff up for you, trying to gain the upper hand in this situation. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, strong Scorpio energy. Scorpio is one of the fixed signs. You could also be dealing with a Taurus. You could be dealing with a Leo or an Aquarius in this situation. This person's like a zombie. You don't understand what's in this person's head. It's like no lights on in the building. Maybe all the light has left this person's eyes. Maybe this person's not getting any sleep. They're like a zombie. All the life force has been sucked out of this person because they're not nurturing their own life. They're too freaking fixated on you. Whoa, man. That's heavy. All right, yeah, I mean, I don't know what they expect. You will always rise again because you have to lead the charge. That's your job. You're the first house. That's what you do straight out the gate. Mm-hmm. And you got to lead. That's what the Emperor does. The Emperor leads, okay? Leads wisely, all right? True Emperor leading wisely doesn't just consider themselves, but what's good for the community as a whole. And so there's something there. And just as I said that, I'm noticing there's a little mosquito that's crawling on my mortar and pestle here. Mortar and pestle makes me think of Baba Yaga. She flies through the woods, with her mortar and pestle, like it's her vehicle for moving forward. Maybe it's your vehicle too. Maybe you're inspiring some fear in some people. They're like, how are you able to do this? Like there's all these stories that have been told on you. Maybe it's been projected on you. Maybe you've had some people pulling some of this stuff with you, this manipulation with you. Maybe they've cast you in the role of the evil witch, the weirdo, the eccentric one who lives at the hedge, the point between the rest of the village and where the wild things roam. Don't go and visit Aries there. They might offer you a sweet treat and then, cook you up for a feast. Yeah, I mean, you might have been demonized by some. It's just their demons that, are sort of taunting them through your visage. I mean, I got it. It's projected stuff. I also feel like what's not known about Baba Yaga is that she knows what's needed. She knows the remedy. She knows what's needed for healing. And there is healing happening here. But it's not happening in the traditional way. It's happening in a wild and woolly way. That's how it's coming through. A very wild and woolly way. Right? Yeah. Also, there's a way to move a house forward. Because Baba Yaga lives in a hut out in the woods, and the hut is portable. It grows chicken legs, and it can move from place to place. So there might be something coming in there too. The home could be in transition. The home could be in transition in a way, or there could be like movement happening at home in a way that's creating a new way forward and creating some kind of healing. Okay. All right, let's see what we got coming in here for you, Aries. What's coming in here for Aries in this lunar cycle? Secrets. Secrets. Again, it's that same thing. Like, you know, there's secrets here. But I feel like secret things are going on behind the scenes. Secret things that are a little bit off here. And where there used to be some kind of alignment, I do feel like people in a situation are starting to act out of their own personal interests here. But it's sort of like they might be presenting this outward impression of, yeah, we're all on the same page, like everything's still cool. Yeah, we're still a tight circle here. I also got this energy where there was like loyalty, okay? And this coming through for the masculine, right? In terms of friends, all right? So if you're a feminine, you could be dealing with a man that's being influenced by their friends, okay? In such a way that they're kind of like moving as ops, and it's causing some issues here. Masculines, you may be dealing, with some friends here that you used to feel really tight with, and it used to feel like everything was on the up and up, and now you feel like everybody's sort of like moving out of their own self-interest. This may even have something to do with, some cats, okay? There could be some women on the scene, and so there's something there, like maybe there's competition. There's competition. Somebody wants to shoot their shot with somebody they feel aligned with, but they may feel like a couple of their bros are, ready to throw their hat in the ring of that same person, I could see that. It's like, it's also got vibes of, I don't know why I got this, but men acting catty. Men acting catty. Like men acting in a stereotypical way that women are constantly accused of operating out of, okay? Like secrecy and gossiping and backbiting, and yet I feel like there's something that's beneath the current here. It's like cats and dogs, fighting like cats and dogs. In fact, Aries, there was a download I brought in for you that was about that. It was a while ago. That's probably being activated right now. It might be set in motion because of an incoming message that you receive or something you see around two people that are connecting that comes in around the full moon on July 10th. There might also be some kind of plans for travel at that time. You might want to go somewhere tropical, all right? There could be some different characters connected to this. There could be a Pisces, there could be a Scorpio, there could be a Sagittarius connected to this, right? I say pay attention to patterns because there's a lot of patterns, especially what's being revealed and what's not being said. that you need to pay attention to right now. And where somebody is wanting to gossip with you or wanting to sort of spill secrets with you, there's something you need to understand about the motive here, like something that's operating beneath the surface, because I do feel like, though it feels like it's a group of friends, or, it feels like it's a group of friends, a group of associates, where they may be trying to like make it come off like, yeah, we're all in this together. No. Everybody's out for themselves in this situation. It's like the communication comes through in such a way where it's like, yeah, we're on the same page. We're on board with this. Let's hatch this vision together. But everybody's just really like thinking about, well, what can I get out of it? And I don't know why I got that, but there's like backbiting energy here. And it feels like it's coming from masculine that are acting like stereotypical catty, backbiting feminines. And there could be women involved in this situation. And there could be competitiveness amongst the men that's causing this sort of like scenario. And also sabotage. So I could see this too, like, I got your chick, or whatever, like I bested you. It's like trying to like erode each other's like sense of self-esteem. Like there's some competition going on here. It's to try to affect somebody's image. Like somebody's really competitive with a friend here. That's what I feel. And if these are women, they're acting out of the masculine energy. There's competition going on here. And there's fighting like cats and dogs. Okay? One more round, and then I'm going to do a cut of the deck to close this out for you. Yeah. Crossing energy. This is something you're going to suss out. So you might have a question that's sort of hanging in the balance right now. Like you may have a sneaky suspicion that you're sort of being set up to abandon something that others are just going to swoop in and take from you, take over from you. So you might be in this spot where you're sort of like, should I stay or should I go here? Because you have a sneaky suspicion that you're dealing with some people that might be trying to get you to like jump ship right as they're about to cash in. That's what I got. And it is coming in with the 5 energy again, the Hierophant. So this is like somebody who holds power in a situation, or this is like some corporation or some kind of agency or some power structure that's established through a group of people where it's like, united we stand, but divided we fall kind of energy. And there's already this like fracturing because there's factions here. But even where it's already broken down into factions, I now feel it's very quickly becoming every man for himself. But it feels like there's 2 here that may be tag teaming to try to get you to jump ship, sort of like get out of something while you can with what you can get out of it, right? When they're going to like level up big time after you bail out here, all right? There's something you need to be aware of there. Let me do a cut of the deck. So something's really in flux here. I also feel like people are paying attention to how you're moving at this time. And so you might be also, trying to keep things a little under wraps. Cut the deck for Aries. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so a card got set aside in the middle. So I do feel like there's some kind of third entity, third party element, third factor here in the mix between these 2 sides of this story. So let me see first what we got here, Aries. Yeah. Somebody's trying to cut a deal with you, okay, that's going to put you in a compromising position. If you fly the coop here, it's going to give them the upper hand. They may be acting like they're giving you some advantage, or they're giving you the inside scoop on something. This is going to be extremely compromising for you. This could be in connection with a Taurus. There's a lot of Taurus energy in your read here. What's in between here? You moving into expansion. See, here is your Chariot. Like, this is a straight shot into orbit. This is you heading out into the stratosphere. This is you moving outside of the safety zone. Like, there's somebody here who wants to try to keep you really contained and held back from activating your full potential. And they're acting like they're doing you a favor by giving you some tip off here. This is like some friend who's advising you, like, you should do this, because if you do this, you're going to have so much more freedom. And, oh, this is going to work out like this for you. And if you stay in this situation, then this is how you're going to be held back. But this person, it's like sabotage, because they're the ones who advance by you ditching this. Do you see what I mean? It's like they're trying to trade places with you here. And you need to let something play out over time here a bit, all right? Because what you can't see now, because you feel like, all right, I'm in unfamiliar territory, and all I know is I want to make sure that I'm really rooting something, that I can stand on for my future here. Security is always a concern for you, and you're trying to move forward in a way where you feel really sure in your steps. Like, yeah, I'm ready to fully step into this. I'm ready to fully embody this. This is the right track for me. And I mean, you got something coming in here, and it may feel like it's completely out of left field. It may feel like it's moving you forward too fast, or taking you into such unfamiliar territory that it might feel a little destabilizing. And there could be people here trying to dissuade you from it, because they know what you stand to gain by acting out of your own accord here, rather than, sort of polling all these other opinions for what they feels right for you here, all right? But this is good energy. The spaceship is moving into much larger territory here. This is definite elevation, okay? This is moving on up. This is also a lot of new experiences coming your way. This is about travel, okay? So maybe you do need to just get out there and travel for a while. Maybe you need to explore for a while. Maybe you've been playing it too safe. Maybe you've been anchored in one spot. You need to kind of like get out there and explore a little bit. This could be really good for you. But this is also about new characters and new elements are about to arrive on the scene that are really going to change your perspective, and it's going to give you a better idea of the way to move something forward. So before you're so quick to sort of make a compromising deal and bail out of a situation just so somebody else, and maybe even a friend of yours, can like swoop in and take advantage of what you left behind, hold tight for a minute, because a clear way forward is going to present itself to you, and you'll be grateful that you didn't like cut ties to a source of security here. That's what I got. And there it is. We come back to the beginning. Like, there's something you need to cut off here. It's a group of people. It's a group of people that are having some sway on the way that you're seeing a situation, or they're giving you some kind of advice that works better for them than it does for you. These characters are coming back around. So if you haven't dealt with them for a while, expect to hear from them. They're seeing that you're about to, lead the charge. You're about to head in a new direction, and they want to try to bring an end to this for you. All right. So this is really about you sticking to your guns, is what I see. You also got a chariot. Your chariot is like, wow. Oh, the places you will go, the things you will see. All brand new, and it's out there, man. Okay, you could never think this up. Just allow yourself to go for the ride. Get the ticket, man. Go for the ride. Okay, there's quite an experience before you that you can't anticipate now, but just be aware. You got some energies here that you would be better off warding from your life rather than, being so ready to let these people back in, because they're just there to feast off of you. They are. They're there to feast off of you. They're there to influence you, influence your choices, and they're trying to set things up so they can sway you to bury something that actually should be revived. All right. And I feel like it's the storyline that plays a role in this expansion you're moving into. Okay. But you got to give time for this to come through. Just look for this to really be raising its ugly head, in this lunar cycle leading up to the full moon. But I do feel like it's like the last dance time. I see that you're going to bring it into this energy. You're going to bring a completion here. You're going to bring a completion here with this particular friend group that you've been dealing with. Okay? It's connections that you've had, behind the scene. At one time, you felt like really connected to these people, but this person, they're connected to others who have too much sway over their moves, and it's leading you astray. And there's a secret agenda here. So again, you could be dealing with a fixed sign energy here, a Taurus, a Leo, an Aquarius, or Scorpio that's problematic in this situation. With the number 10 here, makes me think Wheel of Fortune. There could be something here that they're trying to disrupt that's really about you experiencing a turn in your fortune. It's like they want you stuck in a bad luck cycle. Okay? Could be a Sagittarian connection. Strong Taurus indications, a lot of Taurus affirmation coming in there, as well as Leo. Okay. So be on the lookout for that. But I think this is the round where you finally realize that you're not going to let anybody keep you in this rut. And I see some kind of like travel, and I also see travel in the mind, looking at things in a brand new way. But just pay attention. You'll spot them. You'll spot them coming around to feast on your brains, and don't you dare let them get their fill.